Honda van that is blocking the market, please move it. License plate number is 256055 OJ5. So much for your item. Please, if you own this silver Honda minivan, please move it. It's blocking the traffic. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعين به ونستهديه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فهو المهتد ومن يضلل الله فما له من هاد ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد يحيي ويميت وهو على كل شيء قدير ونشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أدى الأمانة وبلغ رسالة وجاهد في الله حق جهاده حتى أتاه الله اليقين اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. Glory to Allah, the powerful, the creator, the provider, the sustainer, most gracious, most merciful, the King of the day of judgment, to whom all matters belong. I bear witness that Muhammad, may all the peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, is his messenger who conveyed Islam to mankind with no hesitation and no distortion. May Allah bless him and his followers till the day of judgment. Dear Muslims, the khutbah today has been sort of motivated by some recent events that have happened that have been sort of deeply disturbing to me. You know, of course, there was the incident in Kashmir, as we all saw, and total disregard for human rights and for course of law, you know, what was done. And what was more disturbing even was the reaction of the Muslim world towards events like this, and the widespread presence of Muslim refugees everywhere, from Burma to Syria to Yemen, all over the place. It's really disturbing. And to see how the Muslims respond and react to that was really deeply troubling. One of the things that was very noticeable to me was right when the Kashmir issue happened, Saudi Arabia, the national Aramco oil company, signed a multi-billion-dollar with Reliance Industries of India, in total disregard. You know, when it's money, when we benefit monetarily in this dunya, everything is okay. Doesn't matter who our relationships are. So in that respect, I want to learn a little bit about the Islamic perspective of refugees and how to deal with that, and how Muslims are supposed to understand this. And several places in the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about it. But one specific incident that happened, I want to talk about that today. There's a lot to learn from this actually. And this is, we know that the Muhajirin that immigrated from Mecca to Medina with the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and what they had to deal with, and how the Muslims reacted to them. And one specific incident is described in Surah Hashr, chapter 59 in the Quran, and in which one tribe of Bani Israel were expelled from Medina, and that is the incident. But before the surah starts, and I talk about this battle or the incident with Bani Nazir, I want to set this up and how the Quran sets it up. One surah before, Surah Mujadilah, chapter 58, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ends the surah by dividing people into two groups. One is Hizbush Shaitan, the party of Shaitan, and the other is Hizbullah. And don't confuse this with the political groups that we have that call themselves Hizbullah. It's just a name. Let us see what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran about that. First of all, the definition of Hizbush Shaitan comes. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, استحوذ عليهم الشيطان فأنساهم ذكر الله أولئك حزب الشيطان. That these people, the definition of the party of Shaitan is استحوذ عليهم الشيطان. That Shaitan, they are in the clutch of Shaitan. Istahwaza is an interesting word. It was used by the Bedouin Arabs for total control of the animal. When a rider riding a camel would have so much control, with the slightest wish of the owner, the animal would turn into. Completely in control, doing exactly as the owner wants, in complete clutch control of it. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, these are people whom Shaitan has total control of. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that basically these people will be the ones who will be the losers in the end. And this was the example. Who was the Hizbush Shaitan in those days? The Quraysh that were opposing the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says something very critical. He says, كتب الله لأغلبن أنا ورسلي. That I and my Rasul will come on top. And at that time it seemed like sort of really ridiculous, this small group of people. How are they going to deal with all these people around them? Inside Medina there's conspiracy and treachery of the tribes of Bani Israel, of the Munafiqeen, outside the Ahzab, all over the place. So what is going to happen? But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes this prophecy. And then in the next surah, Surah Hashr, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives an example of how the Hizbullah, the party of Allah, comes out on top. And so, to talk about Bani Nazir, which was a tribe of the children of Israel, who were living in Medina, and a little bit about them, they were very wealthy. They lived just outside the outskirts of Medina, and they would deal in usury, riba, and sale of arms, and they had orchards of date, and so they were very prosperous and very rich. And from day one they were involved in treachery. And the immediate incident that led to the expulsion was that there was an issue of qisas, a person who was killed, and the Prophet ﷺ went to their tribe to talk to them about this issue. And at that time they planned to actually assassinate the Prophet ﷺ. While he was sitting resting against the wall of a house, they sent a man up on the roof to drop this heavy rock on top of the Prophet ﷺ to kill him. This was the plan. Of course, Jibreel alayhi salam tells the Prophet ﷺ and he leaves, and after that the Prophet ﷺ gives them 10 days to leave or face war. And then the Prophet ﷺ comes with his companion, and really there is no war. Less than 2 weeks, they just, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala puts this fear in their hearts, and they get up and just leave, basically. And when they leave behind, to make the story short, a lot of wealth. They take whatever they can with them, but they leave a lot. And this comes to the believers, to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He gets hold of this. And so what do you do with this? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about that in Surah Hashr. مَا أَفَى اللَّهُ عَلَى رَسُولِهِ. Fai is this stuff that you get without actually battle, you know. Ghanima is what you get in battle, but this is just, there was no battle, they just got this thing, right? وَمَا فَاللَّهُ عَلَى رَسُولِهِ مِنْ أَهْلِ الْقُرَى. What this fight that has been given to the believers from the tribes of Bani Nazir, فَلِلَّهِ وَلِلرَّسُولِ وَذِي الْقُرْبَى وَالْيَتَامَى وَالْمَسَاكِينِ وَابْنِ السَّبِيلِ. These are the categories that it is for. It is for Allah and His Rasul, and for the family of the Rasul, and for the people that are needy in the community, basically. You know? And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, why? كَيْ لَا يَكُونَ دُولَةً بَيْنَ الْأَغْنِيَاءِ مِنْكُمْ. So that it doesn't become a source of circulation among the rich in the community. You see, most of the time, and even today this is true, selling of arms and war is a very profitable industry. The Lockheed Martins of the world make tremendous money out of war. If wars were stopped, they would tend to lose a lot of money. And the reason is that this money does what? Dulatan, it circulates between the rich. Today, if you look in this country, the rich are getting richer and the poor are getting poorer. You know, Bernie Sanders, may God bless his heart, is the only person it seems who stands up and talks about this accumulation of wealth. And the Islamic principle is what? This wealth has to be distributed among the people. And similarly, the Prophet ﷺ did exactly that. He gave all of this to whom? To the Muhajirin that had come. And in the following verses, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala actually spells this out. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, لِلْفُقَرَاءِ الْمُهَاجِرِينَ الَّذِينَ أُخْرِجُوا مِنْ دِيَارِهِمْ وَأَمْوَالِهِمْ. This is for the poor of these immigrants, the refugees that have come out, that have left their houses and their wealth. Why? Not to get better jobs, not to get a higher education. يَبْتَغُونَ فَضْلًا مِنَ اللَّهِ وَرِضْوَانًا. Seeking purely the good pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's the only reason. And what is the other thing? وَنَصْرُ اللَّهِ, to help Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His Rasul in His mission. This is the only purpose they have come. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says about them, أُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الصَّادِقُونَ. They are the ones who are really truthful, you know. And so this is one group of people who is most deserving, who have left everything for only one purpose. And what is that? To aid the Prophet ﷺ in his mission. If they had not done that, we would not be Muslims today. It is because of their sacrifice that you and I stand and sit here as Muslims. And now, in the next verse, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about the reaction of the people who were in Medina. How did they respond to the refugees? Today, I mean, even in this country, is a huge backlash against refugees, right? And see how the people in Medina reacted to these refugees coming in. وَالَّذِينَ تَبَوَّأُوا الدَّارَ وَالْإِيمَانَ مِنْ قَبْلِهِمْ. These refugees who lived in Medina before them, you know, had belief. How did they react? يُحِبُّونَ مَنْ هَاجَرَ إِلَيْهِمْ. They loved those who immigrated to them. وَلَا يَجِدُونَ فِي صُدُورِهِمْ حَاجَةً مِمَّا أُوتُوا. And they do not find in their chest any need for what was given to them. Now imagine this, there's all this wealth coming in and it is given to one group of people. And the rest of the people feel nothing bad in their heart. وَيُؤْثِرُونَ عَلَىٰ أَنفُسِهِمْ. And they prefer them over themselves, even though they themselves are in need. They want themselves. You know, it is very easy to want it or to give something to someone when you have a lot. But when you yourself need it, to give it to them, it's really difficult. This is one of the things Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, that is sort of the pinnacle of your test in this dunya. Surah Balad, chapter 90, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Alam najal lahu aynayn wa lisana wa shafatayn wa hadaynahu najdayn. Haven't I given you these senses and shown you the two ways, the ways of haqq and the way of batil? Haven't I shown you this? فَلَقْتَهَمَ الْأَخَبَةِ. But he does not dive into the steep path. Akhaba literally is a cliff, the high road, the difficult path, the pinnacle. No, he doesn't do it. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describes what this akhaba is. وَمَا أَدْرَكَ مَا الْأَخَبَةِ. What will describe to you what this akhaba is? فَكُّ رَخَبَةٍ أَوْ إِطْعَامٌ فِي يَوْمٍ ذِي مَسْغَبَةٍ. Freeing of a slave. I consider refugees today the slaves. They are totally helpless. They have nothing, literally. أَوْ إِطْعَامٌ فِي يَوْمٍ ذِي مَسْغَبَةٍ. And feeding someone on a day that you yourself are hungry. Imagine that. This is the pinnacle of success. And this is what the Ansar of Medina demonstrated. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ends the verse beautifully. وَمَنْ يُوقَ شُحَّ نَفْسِهِ فَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْمُفْلِحُونَ. And whoever is able to take care of, to fight this shuh. You know what shuh is? Shuh is a combination of greed. It's a combination of, you want more and more and more. It's never enough. It's a combination of greed, and it's a combination of not giving anything to anyone else. Bukhl and hirs. Combination of bukhl and hirs. You want more for yourself and you don't want to part with it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, if you can control these two things, then you are the ones who are successful. Alright, so this is the reaction of whom? Of the people in Mecca. So one set of people receives the good news. The other one responds by preferring them over their own selves, while they themselves are in need. Then in the next verse, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about the people that will come after that. وَالَّذِينَ جَاءَ مِن بَعْدِهِمْ. The people that will come after that. And that includes everyone until us today. Great lesson for us to learn. What do? يَقُولُونَ رَبَّنَا اغْفِرْ لَنَا وَلِإِخْوَانِنَا الَّذِينَ سَبَقُوا بِالْإِيمَانِ. They ask forgiveness from themselves, and for all these others that are believers before them. In other words, they have this soft corner for all believers. For everyone. لا تجدوا في قلوبنا غلا للذين آمنوا. This is beautiful. That in their hearts there is no ghil. What is ghil? Aghlal is the plural of ghil, used a lot in the Quran. Something that constricts. In their heart, they don't have any rancor. They don't have any bad feeling for any of them. Rabbana innaka ra'ufur rahim. This is their dua. This is what we learn on how to react with refugees in this specific incident. And if you see what is happening in the world today, you realize, I was reading a really disturbing article about how there is this movement in Bangladesh. You realize that a lot of Rohingya Muslims have come into Bangladesh because it's right adjacent, they're the neighbors. So there's this movement to somehow drive them out. There's a similar movement in India going on, just to make sure that these people are out. And you get that same sense in this country, being the largest country in the world. having resources. There is so much land. When I drive around, on the highway, it's like there's land everywhere. Yet, there is this will in the heart, this constriction in the heart. Don't want to share it. Why is that? Why is that? The Prophet ﷺ said, if a man, the son of Adam, had a valley of gold, he would want another one. It is never enough. وَمَنْ يُوخَ شُحَّ نَفْسِهِ فَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْمُفْلِحُونَ. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم. I have said these words of mine, and I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for forgiveness for myself and for all of you. Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salam ala Rasulullah. We see these things going on, and we see these countries, especially the Muslim countries all over the place. It's really a pathetic situation. But the reality is that we will not be asked about what they are doing. On the day of judgment, when we stand before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we will be asked, what did we do? And the question is, what are we doing? What are we doing? That is the question. And what I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is that He gives us the tawfiq. He gives us the wisdom to see that for all these answers we need to turn back to the Quran and learn it and teach it to our children and apply it in our lives. Apply it in our circle. And I feel really good about this country. And people talk about our younger generation. I feel good about them because I see them reading and understanding our deen and applying it with an intellectual honesty, which unfortunately I see lacking in much of the Muslim world today. So, to summarize the khutbah for the benefit of those that have come in late, remember, and I've said this many times and I will say it again, those of you who have come after the Imam stands up for the khutbah, really, I hate to say this, but the prayer does not count. The Prophet made this very clear, that the angels are standing there with a register, writing down the names of the people that come in. As the Imam Khatib stands up to speak, they close the register. So if you're coming in just to feel good that I've done what I have to do, that's fine for you. But if you think you are going to get the reward of Jummah, then you've missed it. يا أيها الذين آمنوا إذا نودي للصلاة من يوم الجمعة فاسعوا إلى ذكر الله وذروا البيع. Stop whatever you're doing and come for Jummah. فإذا خُضِيَتِ الصلاة فانتشروا في الأرض. And as soon as the prayer is over, then you go back and do whatever you're doing. This was a great rahmah from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. For Bani Israel, the entire day was forbidden. They could not do anything on the Sabbath. The entire day was to be spent in ibadah. We have just this specific 1 hour. That's it. If you cannot spend that 1 hour, you need to ask yourself, what am I really doing? Am I going there to be seen? I hate to say this, I'm not here to win a popularity contest, so I don't care. I'm here to stand, this is the pulpit of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I have to speak the truth. So I really recommend to you, please come on time. This khutbah starts at 1. Come 2 minutes before 1 o'clock. And then the rest of the day you're free to do what you want. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the wisdom to see the errors of our way. To summarize the khutbah for the benefit of those who have come in late, we talked about the Islamic concept of dealing with Muhajirin and those that are less fortunate to us. And the Ansar of Medina gave the perfect example of how they dealt with the Muhajirin brothers. And the Prophet ﷺ distributed all of the wealth in that battle between Bani Nadir and the Muslims to the Muhajirin. And the Ansar had no rancor, no ghil in their hearts whatsoever. And so we need to apply these principles to all of those that are not as lucky as we are. Allahumma inni as'aluka ilman nafi'a wa rizqan tayyiba wa amalan mutaqabbala. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasana wa fil akhirati hasana wa qina adhaban nar. Ibadallah, udhkurullaha al-azim wa yazkurkum wastaghfiruhu yaghfir lakum wa aqimus salat.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa Allah. Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. Hayya ala as-salati, hayya ala al-falah. قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة. الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
استقيموا تقاربوا. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين.